Has coming up with DIY decor ideas ever made you feel like this? Before we get started today, I want to give a quick shout out and a huge thank you to Yvette Hernandez for buying me several cups of coffee to help to support this channel. I really appreciate you buying me these cups of coffee, and I genuinely hope that you continue to enjoy the projects and the tips that I share. Now in today's video, I'm going to be using several items that wouldn't ordinarily go together and turn them into beautiful fall decor pieces that I hope you'll enjoy. And without any further ado, let's get started. So to start this project, I began by using this pumpkin wreath form that I purchased at the Dollar Tree, as well as some of this leftover shelf liner that I had purchased before. Then I just placed the shelf liner inside the form to get an idea of how much I would need in order to cover the entire form. And because the shelf liner was so narrow, I ended up having to cut two pieces. I had initially thought to glue the shelf liner to the inside, but couldn't really get the snug fit that I was looking for, so I decided instead to wrap it over the outside of the form. Now, I'll be honest, I was totally winging this project because I was really just trying to make use of these three random items that I had laying around, and while they didn't have anything to do with each other, something in the back of my head kept telling me to give it a try and see what I could come up with. And just a quick tip to keep in mind if you are recreating this project, be careful when gluing the shelf liner. The hot glue is very hot and can burn you. I've gotten pretty used to it over time, but I definitely recommend using some rubber protectors if you can to avoid getting burned. Next, I cut the excess liner from the form so that I could begin gluing this beaded necklace that I found at the Dollar Tree to the form to create an outline of the wire structure. Now, if you've ever wondered about the little green ladybug that you sometimes see in the background, I definitely recommend having this little tool in your craft area because it really helps keep your workspace tidy and works surprisingly well too for being so tiny. I'll be sure to leave a link below along with the materials used in this video. Once I finished outlining the vertical wires, I took the remaining beaded necklace and I used it to outline the entire form. Now, one set of these beaded necklaces was the perfect amount for this project, and I was so happy about that because I hadn't measured it beforehand and I was going to have to do some serious improvising if I ran out. Next, it was time to make the trunk, and I did this by wrapping some of the leftover nautical rope from the Dollar Tree around the top piece that I had left untouched. I do wish that I had made the trunk bigger and taller because in the end I felt like it didn't stand out a whole lot, but this is really just a personal preference. I just wanted to make sure that I shared this with you in case you wanted to consider this for your project. It would just make it a whole lot easier to do it at this time rather than trying to modify it later. And to add some pops of color, I have to share my obsession with these beautiful fall stem leaves that I found at Joann's. I believe I got them for 50% off at the time, and they are just gorgeous. The color is so rich and the size of the leaves are just perfect for this project. I definitely recommend them if you can still find them in stores, since at the time of filming this video I couldn't find them online. You can easily pluck the leaves off the stem, and I used just a little bit of hot glue to attach them to the top of my pumpkin because I knew I wanted to reuse them in the future and didn't want to get glue on the leaves. Then I decided to add these orange LED lights from the Dollar Tree's Halloween collection to the inside of the form. There was no real rhyme or reason other than I just wanted to see what it might look like with some lighting on the inside. I used a small dab of the hot glue to attach them to the form, but I do recommend that you be careful when doing this so that you don't risk ruining your LED lights. One other thing I think I would do differently is paint the wires a light color so that they weren't so visible, but at the same time I also don't hate the way it turned out, so I'm not really sure. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This next project was a super simple makeover using a wooden utensil holder that I've had for a few years now. I used my Waverly chalk paint in the color white to give it a more rustic aged look. I did this by dry brushing the entire piece with the chalk paint because I really wanted the original wood color to still be visible. Now, this is my first time using the Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I must say I really liked it a lot, and I look forward to using it in other projects where I can really test out the coverage. Those of you that have been with me for a while now know that I absolutely love my bare white chalk paint, which you can buy at Home Depot, but I had run out of it and I was at Walmart, so I thought I'd give this one a try. Do you have a favorite chalk paint? I've also wanted to try the Annie Sloan as well, but I haven't been able to find that in my area. Have you tried that one? Let me know in the comment section below. Next, I aged one of the metal words from the Dollar Tree with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle. I used more of a dabbing technique with a sponge brush to get this look. I also used the color Ink to make it look more rustic and set that aside to dry while I added pops of color to my main wood piece using this fall floral bridal crown. I twisted the florals between the cups and tucked the loose ends under the side cups. I noticed that my word looked a little harsh against the florals, so I added a little of the white Waverly chalk paint, and just like that, I was even able to tie in my buffalo check pumpkin from one of my prior videos, creating this fun little quirky fall decor piece. Click here to learn how to make that buffalo check pumpkin that you just saw and 4 other pumpkin ideas. Not sure what to look for next, but want some more inspiration? Check out these videos right over here. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any of my weekly videos. I'm Ellie Lee with Ellie Lee Designs, and until the next one, bye.